know, representation in children's books and media plays a significant role in child development, but when it comes down to it, only a few shows are doing an okay job of inclusivity. Here to dig into that with us is Kaleb Robertson. Kaleb, I got to start with the accolades. So you co-host the fabulous show with Faye and Fluffy, which won a Kids' Choice Award at the Canadian Screen Awards. And what I just want to talk about is just the importance of it being a Kids' Choice Award that you won.
Absolutely. It's hugely important. Well, we were nominated for 5 awards, which is huge already.
It's amazing.
But the one that we won was the Shaw Rocket Fund Kids' Choice Award.
Yeah.
And so it means that not only are kids and families watching the show, it means that they took the time to go and vote, more votes than they've ever received.
Wow.
And the families spoke out and said, we want to see this. Our show is about literacy and diversity and family and community love and care. So it happens to be hosted by a couple of drag performers and also somebody who's trans. And there's a lot of people right now that have some problems with drag and with trans people, and especially working with children. But children are enjoying the show. There's real kids in our audience. We have puppets. We did a segment about equality versus equity.
Good.
And so these things are happening. We're having the conversations that families are happening, but just because of who we are, some people have a problem with it. So the fact that families went out and voted and made this happen, it's incredible. Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, there are a lot of adults that don't get the equality, equity differences. So the fact that you can raise up the kids to be understanding these fundamental facts about systems and the way they work is very, very good. So I want to talk about the Maisy Test. This is something I never heard of until we were preparing for this segment, but it's a way to gauge how shows are doing in terms of inclusivity. And it's the sort of thing that parents need to know about it, because we need to be watching these shows with our kids and making sure, are they getting it in their television shows? So there are a few points that are part of the Maisy Test. One is gender balance. What does that mean?
Yeah, and so all of this, it's basically about gender and the shows that we watch. So gender balance, we know that there's a lot of shows like Paw Patrol, like Thomas the Tank Engine, who are very much overrepresented by boy characters.
Yeah.
When you have a girl character, let's put her in pink.
Right.
You know, tell me why we still have shows that need to put eyelashes on dinosaurs just to prove that that's a girl dinosaur or a girl train. I mean, things like that. So gender balance, what is the numbers of girls and boys represented in the show?
How about gender freedom, which is another tenet of the Maisy Test?
So gender freedom, are all kids able to do what they want in terms of adventures?
Right.
You know, what are the roles, what are the tasks that each kids are doing?
Yeah. Okay, gender safety.
Safety in our bodies. Are all of the bodies shown healthy? And I don't mean healthy in a way of like being thin and able-bodied, but so let's include disability, let's include fat bodies.
Yeah.
You know, what are we seeing? And are they safe? Are they being respected?
Right.
Is there consent being taught?
This goes back to, I think, a conversation I had with my kids when we were reading the Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. And we're sitting there in bed and I'm reading it to them and I'm like, what do you think of Wonder Woman's outfit? And they're like, well, she's in a bathing suit. And I go, well, what are the other characters wearing? It's like, oh, they're fully covered up. I'm like, what do you think? They're like, we think she's cold.
Yeah.
She probably is. She flies around like that. I wonder why they didn't give her pants. You know, these are the sort of conversations that you can start having when they're really young, because they get it. And the last tenet is social justice and equality.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what it is, right?
Let's talk about what's happening in our world.
Yeah, yeah.
And also it comes back to having those conversations with your kids.
Right.
So not only watching the shows, but also talking about, how do you think that character felt when that happened?
Yeah.
What do you think's the dynamic there? What is that person struggling with? And then relating it to the world around us.
That's right.
So that's the next step, is not just watching that, but saying, oh, did anything like this ever happen in your classroom? And tell me about the kids in your class.
Yeah.
Because I even talked to my nephew once, and he was telling me about his class, and he said, oh, there's 13 boys and 12 girls and one neither. And I said, oh, do you have a non-binary kid in your class? And he was like, yeah, you know, this is their name. And I was like, great. And that's how kind of simple it can be, because all this is reflecting kids' communities.
That's right.
We're reflecting the things that are happening around kids.
Yes.
So the same example of what things need to change still is same-sex parents.
Right.
Still taboo.
Right. You mean like in television representation?
Yeah.
We're not seeing it as much as we should be,
'Cause
or
they're
talking
here.
about it.
They're in the world. They're
Absolutely.
in our community.
Yes.
So the next step is to then be acknowledging everybody in our community.
Right. As parents and guardians, what do you think we need to be doing better?
A is having those conversations.
Yep.
We can seek out other shows. Another CSA winner is actor Trisha Black, who won for an animated show called Summer Memories.
Yeah.
And in it, they play a non-binary character. So, you know, the shows are out there, watching shows with real kids. Our producers, Low Pie Productions, do a great job of casting real kids, so we get to
Yeah.
see them enjoying these adventures, including disability, which is still a big thing that's lacking
Yes.
in kids media. And then also things like Peppa Pig, who is open to having same-sex parents in the show. However, a big arc of that show is how much she makes fun of her dad and his body.
Right.
So it's a big thing to be like, dad's fat tummy, daddy's fat tummy. But if we were to use those words on another kid or the mom, it would be a really negative thing.
Absolutely.
So let's look at positive things, and
Yeah.
let's seek out things that kids want to watch, but also is helping enrich their lives.
Absolutely. Tuning
Yeah.
into all of that, I think, will make us all better parents and it'll be better for the kids. Thank you so
Definitely.
much,
Thank
Kaleb.
you.
Always great information.